2/3 of the land. The government wants to take over 12 million acres with only minimal compensation, arguing that current ownership is a legacy of the colonial period, when the country used to be called Rhodesia, which must be swept away. Jeremy Vine is in Zimbabwe for the second of his special reports for the 9 o'clock news.
After 4 decades on the same cramped plot, John Nyari is getting tired of having to round up cattle whenever he wants to plough a field, tired of earning just £300 a year, tired of seeing white farmers with all the best land.
Some of the whites have 2 farms or 3, hundreds of cattle, enough grazing area. But we black, we don't have that chance. I want more land to produce more so that I can feed the country. I'm not working for my own, I'm working for the country.
This man used to work for the country in a very different role. Ian Smith led its last white regime in the days when Zimbabwe was called Rhodesia. He declared independence illegally and fought to maintain a situation where whites, who make up 1% of the population, have 2/3 of the best farmland. He is still fighting. Now it's to stop his own farm being confiscated. He says whites had a perfect right to come here and take the land they wanted.
We came here, our ancestors, the pioneer column, with the blessing of the then Queen of England, because we were spreading the area that was coming under the Union Jack and Western civilization. That was Rhodes's dream, and we were part of that. We came here in order to establish this kind of civilization and way of life.
So if they come to take your farm, will you give it to them?
Well, I've already told them they can't have it, you see, because it's my farm. It's my home farm. It's been our home for 50 years.
Some white farmers are now saying the government's plans are falling apart, that people like Mr. Smith needn't worry, because the original list of 1,500 farms has been secretly whittled down to around 200, and they'll be able to stay on the rest. The president denies it point blank.
If they're going to stay where they are, well and good, after the farms have been taken. But rest assured, we're going to take the farms.
So the policy's not been dropped?
No, the policy hasn't been dropped. How could we drop a policy of that nature?
So the full weight of international opinion counts for less than the hopes and dreams of Mr. Mugabe's core supporters.
People here shed blood in order to fight for their land, and they want it. And any political leader must address that question, or else they go.
So President Mugabe has a real fight on his hands now, on what is quite literally vital ground for his people. He knows that if he loses, they may define his presidency as a failure. Jeremy Vine, BBC News, Zimbabwe.